Good evening, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Town End podcast. The second coming of Vinny Perth started with a little bit more of a whimper than a bang. 1-1 draw against Longford Town. Unfortunately, Chris and Steph and Gally have decided just to leave me high and dry, so we found some fella off the street to come in again. We're soon going to have to get him one of our tops as well. Mr. Donald Hanks joining us again. Donald, how's it going?
Not too bad, yeah. I keep asking the postman whether that top is in his delivery, but it's still not showing up yet. So I'll give you another week.
Sounds good. We'll blame Steph on it anyway because we haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. But initial thoughts on that?
Yeah. So I was thinking the whole time, like after everything that's happened in the last week, that the most important thing today was to get a result, like a positive result, a win. They didn't get that. So it feels like a disappointment. There was some positive aspects of the performance. They created a hell of a lot of chances. They somehow didn't score. Like obviously the penalty miss. Ruben had plenty of other good chances. So like there was positives there, but negatives again in that just giving a silly goal away early in the game, giving themselves a mountain to climb, and then not being able to get the 3 points. So a bit of a disappointment, but also I thought, they conceded last week and the heads dropped and they capitulated pretty much last week, whereas this week they conceded, but they stuck at it. So it's a little bit, that was a positive, I thought, out of tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's better than coming on with another loss against a team that's behind us, right? We haven't lost any ground to Longford, which is great. I kind of echoing everything that you said. I think it's great that we didn't kind of capitulate, and as you say, after we conceded that goal, and I think it was a great header by Shieldsy. I think it was a great goal by him. Great ball, and we had chances to win it. Longford had chances to win it towards the end. We were talking about before we came on air, and it's just, there's a lot of positives of Vinny coming back in, and there's been a lot of positivity about Vinny coming back in, and everybody kind of, like, there was an excitement and a buzz again tonight that we hadn't seen in a couple of weeks, and unfortunately the result just didn't give us the end the week off on a good note,
Yeah, and that's the main thing that I thought, like, that was the most important thing. Obviously it sounds stupid to say the most important thing is that you get a win, but the performance kind of didn't matter tonight. It was just about trying to build on that positivity. Like, even if it was just a scrappy 1-0, like an own goal to give us a 1-0 win in the 90th minute, like that's really all we wanted tonight, so then you don't get the positive result, but you can take the positives from the performance. And yeah, like on another night they could have scored 4 or 5, but then, as you said, on another night Longford could have scored a couple as well. So you have to take the good stuff and measure it up against the bad stuff as well, on a night like that, like on a performance like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, my connection keeps going there, so hopefully you can hear me all right. But yeah, I think look, to give a quick rundown on how the game went.
I'm going to be the only one here in a couple of minutes.
Can you hear me there? Am I there? Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You're there.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Perfect. Sorry about this. I'm sweating. You're probably sweating over there as well.
I'm trying to think of what I'll do. I have to sit here for half an hour by myself waiting for you to come back in.
Just to give a quick rundown on, like, a recap on what happened in the game. So in 14 minutes, Aaron McNally scored a great goal for Longford. I mean, it was a brilliant finish by him. It was cancelled out by Shieldsy with a header from a corner on the 29th minute. And then probably the other big talking point in the game was Hubin's miss in the 73rd minute, which we need to get him off corner or off penalties, don't we? I think that should be Vinny's first job.
And it's not like this is a recent thing where he's not good at penalties. Has he ever been good? I think he scores the odd one, but he seems like he misses more than he scores. But I don't know if I don't have the penalty stats in front of me, but you're definitely not hugely confident when he goes up to take one that he's going to score. I think there's maybe what I said has to travel across the Atlantic and get to where you are.
I don't know what's going on. On there, wee second. The joys of going live. Maxie McAllister's writing in. We might have to get you to join in, Maxie. But yeah, no. Look, I think you look at Shieldsy. Anytime the Hoban hasn't been on the pitch, Shielsy's usually been the one to step up, or Dave McMillan. Shieldsy was there tonight. I think. Look, if I was Vinny, that'd be a decision you'd be making straight away. You know, get him off these. Just a reminder as well, folks, to send in your comments for Man of the Match tonight for a chance to win a free pizza from Tony's Pizzeria. We'll pick a winner at the end of the show. So look, I suppose I don't want to get too bogged down in negativity about the game, and we'll talk a little bit about other things, and because it's been another very quiet week at Oriel Park, so we have a lot to get to today. But we've got our guest for the night. He's already in the waiting room, and just in case I get logged off again, you can chat with him, so it's not just you on your own. All right, so we'll get him in. A legend, one of the most professional. No worries, one of the most professional players. Not Stephen McKevitt, by the way.
Yeah, that was a surprise. I didn't think that was going to be Steph's introduction.
I know, yeah, and he's not wearing his top either, so. Hopefully he might give you his. But no,
I sent it over the tongue.
We'll bring in our guest now. A legend, as I say, probably one of the most professional players from my time involved with Dundalk Football Club, Mr. Faz Kadozovic. Hey Faz, can you hear me?
I can, lads. Thank you very much. All good.
How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, really good, pal. Really good. Thank you for the introduction. It was a bit over the top, but flattering nonetheless. But no, pleasure to be with you. Good to see you finally in the flesh, so to say. And yeah,
brilliant. Well, Faz, did you get a chance to watch any of the game, or have you been following Dundalk FC this season? And just if you could give us some of your thoughts.
I have. I mean, this evening I didn't watch the game, but I have been. Of course, I follow week in, week out. To be honest with you, eventually the whole league, more closely the clubs that I played for. But then I have obviously really, so to say, my top three: Dundalk, Cork, and Sligo, that I do sort of, follow a little bit more intensely. And I mean, what can you say? Bittersweet at the moment now for Dundalk, especially for the fans and the town, as you say. But that's the situation. They come in football. It's one of them where I know it's probably the toughest for the fans to accept. But after a very, very long high with Stephen Kenny, and then the good times that were had. A low point has to come, a transition period, whether it passes quickly or whether it drags on a little bit. You have to accept it. That's just part of the process. It's unfortunate, but sometimes it's a football sort of transition where it's a turn of a generation of players or what have you, or it could be the other side. And unfortunately, I think for Dundalk, it started maybe a year and a half ago, outside of the field. And lads, I mean, I've been involved in similar situations. No doubt about it. It always affects the football side as well. So a little bit sorry for the boys. And then, of course, you have managers, coaches coming, going. It's just it's easier to see from the side. But for one team of players, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to try and do one system, the next week do something else, or you're in between from looking at them at the beginning of the season. To me, it was a little bit more obvious that the team was sort of playing in between football, not really knowing what they were doing. So hopefully now, Vinny Perth back in. Hopefully he settles things down and gets a bit of solid performances together.
Absolutely. Faz, you were obviously involved, as you say, you had quite a career here in Ireland, but you're involved in Dundalk in 2010. So it looks, obviously there's been a lot of new players that came in this season that maybe at a time where supporters can't be at games and things like that and don't really know the club. What was your first impression, or what was your impression of your time at the club and what it's about?
Brilliant, actually. To be honest with you, I've had a couple of these talks lately. For example, especially people ask me, "Oh, what did you think when you first came to Sligo, or when you first came to Cork, or what have you?" Coming from a relatively decent sort of professional setup at Cork, coming to Dundalk, the main thing, I mean, everything was done super professional, and the first impression was really, really good. And I'm talking from, a small signing ceremony to a little, let's say, press conference, and, behind the scenes, guys taking me through the club, Ian Foster, Wayne Hatswell. The welcome and the sort of introduction was as it was, and that makes, everybody's different, but it really does make a difference to, okay, here's your kit and get going. So it really, to be honest with you, the club was always, I don't know how it is now exactly internally, but it was really, really ran professionally, and they showed that from the very sort of get-go. And then the football side was easy enough to integrate into, because Ian Foster made it super easy. Wayne Hatswell and the lads were brilliant at the end of the day. So no, in that side was super positive, and I was really, really happy to be there.
You said everything was real professional there. You must not have come into the kit room to me too often, and
apart from that little zone there.
He didn't want to mention it. Did he try and pass any chicken fillet rolls when he was in there? No.
No, I didn't want to show him up on the show, but no, it was, to be honest with you, there was another fella there with you. I can't remember the name.
Me and we Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry Wallace.
No. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So no, it was brilliant banter, to be fair, with Pingu there. Like, even with all the lads now, it was, you don't get it so often. Usually, it's always sort of the older kit men just giving you stick and like making life difficult. But Pingu, and you see it a lot now also in top flight football. The kit men, the physios are like part of the team. So we had a bit of that. It was really nice and close.
Surely Pingu wasn't giving you some banter. He must have mellowed out in his later years then. No crack now, so he isn't. But no, Faz, just like you're talking, I suppose, coming in from the outside and then doing the little mini press conferences, sort of like fill you with confidence and then settle you straight in. Like you said, it was very professional, and you probably had everything waiting on you. So all you had to do was concentrate on the football, and there seemed to be a good bunch of lads there at the time. Like, so it was brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, if I have to comment on that, it's like I was always, and Burnsy, Liam Burns always used to say to me, he was like, like, you're doing well here, or you're flying at the moment and stuff. And I was always the type, and I mentioned it the other day, I really am the type, I don't need an arm around the shoulder, and I don't need critic. I just, like, for me personally, it's like, just leave me alone. And it's in my sort of nature to work hard and do my best. And that was the thing. And then additionally, the manager, the gaffer, Ian Foster, he really, and he made it known to me that he He tailored the sort of team around a couple of us. We really had a few energetic lads, Stephen Marr in the midfield with Alan Corley. Fenny was obviously one of the creative lads. So he gave us, there was a few of us, he just gave us freedom with, responsibility still to produce. And that suited me. Like I love that environment for me personally, where you just left me alone and I will do the best I can for you without, thinking twice. So it was, in a big package, it was just, it was really good.
Yeah, it was sort of a good fit for yourself and the club as well. And he obviously, Foster seemed like a good man manager, and he was able to identify that some of the quality that he's had, and like you said, it seemed to work really well. He's had a good mix.
Yeah, definitely. We had not only a good mix of sort of, I would say, characters. We had a good mix of experience, the different ages, experience between the players. Also, sort of a couple of lads coming over back from England and things like that. But then also from quality and actual abilities were, it just worked nicely. It really worked nicely. We had a good balance. Balance is really important, and coaches see that really well from the side. You just feel it and you see it. It's like it's sort of a spiritual, emotional thing, and we had that. It really did work really well. For me, to be honest, it was a shame that I couldn't sort of prolong it for an extra year or two. But yeah, I had other ambitions and plans. So.
Faz, do you think when we look back on that, I think we were top of the table going into the mid-season break that year. Do you regret? I mean, the way that Gaffer kind of built the squad at the time was he had 13, 14 probably good players, and then it was made up of young lads. Do you regret that we didn't kick on that year? Because I think we bet Rovers twice, didn't we? And Rovers went on and won the league. And I think that first half of the season we were probably the best team in the Premier Division at the time. We were flying.
Yeah, up until that break, but at the end of the day, and I will tell you now from experience, at that level, it's really not enough to have like 12, 13, 14 players. It's really not. If you remember, sort of halfway through then the season, you have a big player leaving. Let's say Fenny left, Neil Fenn left, and love it or hate it, it's a big loss for the team. Not only on the field but outside the field, it affects the whole package of things. So it really isn't enough. And Fozzie gave a lot of chances to a lot of the young boys at the time. But when you if you want to go and win the league, or even have any aspiration of that, unfortunately, it's very, very difficult to sort of carry it with really young boys and bringing them in and out. It has to be solidified with experienced players and see it through, and just complement it throughout games with young players, giving them. And we just didn't have the depth to sort of kick on, and that's okay. I think I don't think anybody probably expected to win the league, so it's definitely good to strive for it, always should, but we just didn't have the depth.
Do you have any special memories, Faz, from the time at the club? I know you were definitely a European player, and there was a couple of special games that season playing in Europe. But have you any special memories kind of from the club, or any moment that kind of stands out for you? Apart from meeting me.
Well, that tops the list, so that's like undisputed, is that. No, listen, to be honest, there's a couple of games. Shamrock Rovers at home, when we beat them, I don't know, 4-5, 1-2, something like that. And it's all well and nice that we won and everything, but actual, the game was like an evening kickoff. Atmosphere was buzzing. There was a bit of crowd trouble. I love the sort of romantic side of it. And then then actually Shamrock Rovers. No, we had really, to be honest with you, we had some fantastic games. Bowes away, I think the last game of the season, we were 1-0 up. And Madden, is it Simon Madden? He should have made a foul, and he let the boy run on, and he scored 1-1. And I got into him after the game, like he should have made a perfect. Of course, like. Yeah. No, we had some great, and then Shamrock Rovers away with Tom Miller, I think, scoring the header. I watched, I mean, not regularly, but recently I watched a few of the highlights back. It was the level was really, really high. We had a fantastic team there. We had some really, really good times, to be honest with you. And then the European games were brilliant.
They were good trips. Alan Cawley enjoyed the away trips, didn't he?
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember in Luxembourg. It's funny. If you remember, we were in Luxembourg, literally 5 minutes away from where I live now. And then I come back, or I come to this area, not even a few months later, and I'm living here, and I didn't even know about this corner of the world, so to say. So, but yeah, no, the European trips, they had some, there was some little stories there, and but no, they were brilliant trips, and yeah.
Any good stories about Mr. Arrowsmith?
No, I can't. No, I don't think no. He was solid. He was professional enough. I think Fozzie had him sort of on a tight leash.
he must have given you a few quid before this to say he was very professional, did he?
Yeah. He PayPal'd me a few quid. Yeah. Nah. He was. To be honest with you, Pingu was always just super positive. Always had a smile on his face. And to be honest, he never strayed in the type of to do anything wrong or unprofessional, which is for me the right thing, because that also affects, like, as much as you don't know it or you don't see it from the outside. Everybody plays a part in the standard that is set, whether that's the kit man or the physio. Like, standards have to be high, and and Pingo did that also.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well done, mate. And what about yourself now? Are you still involved at the game? Are you coaching? Are you still playing? So you could
No, playing not. Playing not. So I finished professional summer 2014. So it was a while ago now. I played a couple of years, which would probably, to be honest with you, it's probably about the same level as Ireland now here in Luxembourg, First League. I played a further 2 seasons. I then, midway through one of the seasons, a club who knew me, the owner was actually a Yugoslavian guy. They were in the second league at the time. He offered me the manager's job. And I was like, bloody hell, like... I had obviously no experience or such, but at the time I was already older, and I thought, okay, I'll do it. And I took over in end of 2017 in the winter break, and they were nearly bottom of the league. In the second league, we ended up finishing 5th by the end of the season, and then the next following whole season, so 2018-19, I won promotion and into the First League, and it was like amazing sort of amazing achievement in a whole, in a package. And then I got an offer. A good friend of mine, he got the manager job in my last professional club, the German club here in Eintracht Trier. And he said, look, come back, we'll do it together as a trainer team, as a coaching team. And I don't want to do it without you. We're really close friends. We were together most days discussing football, and I've been so this will be our 3rd season together. And no, it's going super well. Love management, love coaching. Really sort of found myself in it. And no, we've had we've had 2, you could call it league winning seasons, but they were cut short by Corona. and now the second one, based on some technicalities, we could still get promoted if the association and courts allow it. So they're still sort of going back and forth there. Hopefully we get promoted. We deserve it. And so no, I mean, I found myself in management. I love it. I have big ambitions, to be honest with you. And let's see what happens. I want to win promotion here with my home city, so to say, and then I'll see what's next.
So I suppose the big question, Faz, now that there's been managerial changes at Oriel Park, do you ever see a coaching job in Ireland being something you'd be attracted to in the future?
I got asked this night before last. I mean, simply put, yeah, absolutely. Reason being is I've changed a lot since obviously I was in Ireland, especially after finishing football. I've changed my mentality, my character, not in the sense of that, consciously, developing, but I just won't accept things that I did before. I've changed a lot, and mostly, I've realized that you need ambitions, you need goals, you need a plan. And on my plan of, to coach at the top level is Ireland as one of the stepping stones, because I believe, I just look at, for example, Stephen Kenny, Ian Barraclough, is it? Ian Foster, Cookie. So it's definitely on my, my to-do list in the coming. If I have to register, but I'm all about success. I'm the promotion win with the Luxembourgish team is the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. It took everything from me. And once I tasted this real process of winning, it's like I have to have it again. And I'm all about success, and I want to get promoted here with Trier, and then year or two, let's see what happens. Obviously Ireland, I know the league, I know the clubs, that helps, but I want it to be based on with a background and sort of foundation of being a winner and success, not just like, oh yeah, he played here, we'll give him a chance. No, that's not what I want. So no, definitely.
Can I just ask, just as someone who could be looking, like, we'll say, just for talk's sake, that Dundalk did actually approach you to come over, how much would you look at what's going on around the club, and how much would that play into your thoughts? Like, would you look at Dundalk and say, that's a great job because I can get them back to the top? Or would you look at all of the mess that's going on around the club and say, I don't want anything to do with that, I'm going to take a bait, let someone else come in first and then come in after them?
No. Sort of, let's say, a secret about myself is I fully 100% believe that everything, of course, things around do affect the team and players, and a little bit of 100%. The only part of it that I would be concerned with is, are the boys going to get paid? Is everything going to be fine? Because as long as the boys are, putting food on the table, that's all we need, right? Everything else, once we changing room over the white line, I have so much confidence that with the players at Dundalk anyway, like we take them back up. That's not a question. Of course, you analyze, and as a serious coach, you do take things into consideration, and you would search some guarantees, whether verbally or sort of assurances from management upstairs. But lads, I promise you, like watching the England game, everything starts with the manager, everything. And that's why now I hope with Vinny Perth, I'm sure with his experience and everything, he's going to, and you were talking about the result earlier, lads, I promise you, Vinny, the first thing Vinny Perth is thinking about today, I'll get a solid result today. We draw, and he will build on that because he came in 5 minutes ago. So, of course, it's lovely to win and the buzz and everything. But I would, first game of the season or such a game coming in, you start solid, and Vinny will sure now go on and get a solid week in and work from there. But no, I have. You would consider things, but I have full confidence, especially with the players in Dundalk. But for me, obviously, I was reading in between lines over the last week with some interest for players going elsewhere and stuff. I'd be sad to see some of the players go when the times are hard. If everything's okay, why not give it a push together type of thing, at least till the end of the season. So yeah.
Yeah, once you had control of the football that matters, and then let everything else look after itself, you'd be confident in your own ability and to get the boys going. Look, you seem to have the hunger and the drive to do it. So hopefully we'll see you over these parts soon. Once it's not Drogheda or Rovers, we'll be cheering on.
Yeah, I know. I've in this. I definitely look at everything and I plan on a real big picture and long game. So I never skip any part of the process. I will do things and let things evolve naturally when they happen, and they usually happen when the time is right, type of thing. So absolutely no pressure, no stress. I'm also developing or learning every day. So no, but I'm sure the time will come at some stage.
And you'd have to bring Dino back in as kit man.
No, I think he's overqualified for that now.
He's looking at the assistant role already, so he is.
Yeah. I think I've been asking you for an assistant job since you retired, Faz.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. No, you'd be on a bigger pay packet than the manager coming back from the States now.
Yeah, no comment on that one. But not Faz, this has been brilliant. Thanks a million for coming on. Hopefully, maybe later on in the season we'll get you back on for another chat in better times. But I think it was good for us to get you on kind of around the European run. Just one last question, probably on that. Yeah. Do you expect Dundalk, given the record in Europe and given that they've signed a lot of players on the continent, that you would hope and you'd expect to perform in those kind of games? Would you anticipate a decent run for Dundalk in Europe again this year?
Yeah. And the main reason being the players. Like you said, I watched the boys over the couple. Look, the boys are top fit. The boys are, they look the part. They have the presence. With a decent couple of draws now, I think whether they will go all the way, it's always difficult. You need the I won't say luck, and I really don't believe in luck. But they definitely, main thing is Europe is definitely away from the league. It's highlight for all the boys. I can't imagine one player that doesn't enjoy these games. And they definitely have the players who have the presence to do something. And I think it will definitely be a good summer.
Fingers crossed.
Good. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Well, Faz, thanks a million, mate. Appreciate you coming on. I know if I annoyed you enough that I get you in eventually. Thanks a million, pal. And hopefully we'll get you back on before the end of the season.
Anytime, boys. Thanks a lot for the invite. Appreciate it. Miss you.
Mate. See you later, pal. Legend.
Ciao.
Bye. That was good, lads.
Quality.
I was sweating there the whole time. Fucking camera. I kept going.
Yeah, you were on Danny's Wi-Fi, yeah?
I think so, yeah. I was on Danny's Wi-Fi, or I thought I was in the boathouse.
Oh, yeah. No, look, Faz, what a man. He spoke very well there, and look, he seems to have the drive and hunger to succeed in a managerial game. You got a wee taste for it, and look, we might see him over here soon in the next couple of years, like he said. So
I'm just glad it's the first guest that was actually nice about me, said something good.
Yeah, look, he obviously the PayPal went through just in time. I'd say.
Yeah. Hopefully,
he said you're very professional. I can't believe that.
I don't believe it either.
Not having that for a second. even your face dropped when he said that.
Yeah. No, that was just frozen.
Oh, right. Pixelated. I thought you were on CCTV for a second.
Well, Steph, how are you, mate? Long time no see.
Yeah, look, I took a wee break away and just clear my head of everything, lot going on, and busy with outside stuff as well. So look, Donald stepped in, and I was struggling to get back in. Then I was struggling to get back in. Donald, fountain of knowledge, and some like I just sent him a message the other day. Reading some of his pieces are excellent. Like he sums it up very well what's going on at the time, and I said he probably puts it across better than most of us.
But the PayPal thing definitely went through earlier, Steph.
Yeah, lovely, happy days. Yeah, it cleared just in time. That's why I was late coming on. I was just checking to make sure it went through. So look, we'll give you a plug, and hopefully you're going to stay on with us now.
There's mine going again, is it?
You're not going to get rid of me now.
Yeah. Look, you're a permanent fixture now, and we could probably talk more sense in the last couple of weeks than all of us combined.
I don't think there's any sense to talk to, is there? Like, there's not much of what's gone on the last few weeks has actually really made any sense. Like, even this week, I think everybody's probably happy that at the end of the week we have a manager going into Friday night, like that we had a manager in place. So that thing is off the table now. We don't have to worry about who's it going to be, what baggage comes with it, whoever it's going to be. So we can just forget about all that now, and we can all just focus on the team and focus on getting behind the team. But you just wonder about the there's a lot of there was a lot of positivity around the appointment, but there's also a lot of, maybe not as much, not skepticism, but there's a lot of questions that people have about the appointment and the manner of the appointment and the timing of the appointment and things like that people are well, look, we have to just give it time, and hopefully everything starts to go well. But if things don't go well, some of those questions are going to come back.
Yeah, definitely. Just like when you go back to when Vinny left and how bad it was and all the comments coming out, and then you just skip forward to right now and go, how does it make sense to bring him back in again? When there seemed to, and more stories came out, and look, I don't know, you have to take these with a pinch of salt sometimes, but when you're hearing them constantly or the same story again, then you're sort of questioning it. And then does he come back in and with a clean slate? He said he had to have a few conversations with people. So look, maybe there was clear the air talks, but he seems to have come in on his own as well, which is odd. Who I don't even know who was on the bench tonight. I didn't even see it.
Burnsy was in the dugout.
Burnsy was on the dugout. So look, maybe he's going to step in to give him a hand, but I think he's busy with his own role. Is he? He's probably no more than me on that one.
Well, I don't. I'm in Chicago, Steph, so you might know better.
I know, and you still know more than me. So,
but yeah, I think look, it was a weird week. We said we weren't going to kind of go over the manager situation too much, but it has been such a strange week. I mean, on Monday it looked like Dave Rogers was getting the job, and then 15 minutes after it was announced that Dave Rogers was getting the job, it was announced that Vinny was likely getting the job. And by all accounts, Vinny met with the players on Tuesday, took training Wednesday, and then I think it was Wednesday night was finally announced as manager and had an interview yesterday. It's just everything is strange right now. I would say it's all a shock, but nothing at Dundalk Football Club is a shock at the minute, because it's just what we do, isn't it? Every week there's something new is happening. But what did you make, Steph, of his selection tonight, and kind of just going off of tonight, first of all, like what was your thoughts on the team that you started and things like that?
Look, I don't know, like with the keeper situation, you're sort of who's not going to be the worst out of the two of them. Look, you can toss a coin and pick either of them, I suppose. Back four, I probably would have put Jakovskis in right full in place of Dummigan. I would have left Leahy Looking at the midfield, I suppose you're short of numbers, but he McElhenney seemed to be walking out wide, and then he's gone back into the middle. It's hard to know. Like, look, he's only come in and he's had. Did you say he took training on Tuesday or Wednesday?
I think Wednesday. I think he met the players Tuesday, took training Wednesday, and yesterday obviously as well.
Look, he's not going to have any time to do much with them at all. But I suppose you don't know who's going to be having picked up with little knocks or who's not running on full steam. He go in and just get a feel for it first couple of days and then pick. Look, I thought the team selection was pretty good. I probably would have made one or two changes to it, but it's hard to know with the team selection. He's only come in. The Waterford performance was that bad that you could have picked on the 14s to go out in place of any of the lads. So look, the team selection's hard on this one. It'll be interesting to see what he does on Monday night with the short turnaround, and then Friday again. So they're after getting hammered as well. So I don't know if it's a good or a bad time to play Drogheda, especially with them being at home. It might just give them a shot in the arm, getting hammered. You don't know what way they'll react either. Like, they were sort of flying and getting pumped tonight then. So
yeah. What did you think of Val getting dropped? I thought, everyone was clamouring for Darragh Leahy to start, but I thought it was a little bit harsh on Val, who's probably been one of the only shining lights of the last couple of weeks.
Well, look, if he pulled him aside and just had a chat with him and explained to him why he's taking him out, I think, just coming into the team as a young lad, he can fully understand he's not going to play every game. We've seen it before. He's been, like you said, what has he played? A handful of games. He's been very good in some, and he's found it difficult in others. But he like you said, the last couple of weeks he has been the one shining light of it. But look, if he pulled him aside and just said he was going to go with Leahy and sort of take him out of the limelight a wee bit, just so there's no pressure on him, the whole thing with the new manager, and once he's going to be in his plans, I think that's the main thing. He's going to pick out his strongest team that Vinny thinks, and like that was a big thing when I was playing. Like, you were sort of dropped and you weren't told, or there was no inkling that you're going to be dropped. The next of all, the team's been named and you're not involved, but look, if this is a professional setup, you think he's going to be having little chats with people, and hopefully he is. And if the players can all get on board with him and just see how far we can take it. But I don't know with the performance tonight. Look, it was an improvement on Waterford, but what wouldn't have been?
Yeah, absolutely. I see Chris is trying to produce the show from afar tonight. He's got a question for all of us. What did we think of Abibi's performance? A big save at the end of the game. Donald, I'll go to you on that one first.
Yeah, look, he made a very, very, very important save. And there's a lot of goalkeeping that comes down to confidence, and maybe that gives him a bit of a boost because it seemed like he hadn't saved very much in I don't know how long until that. I see a comment saying it just bounced off him, which fair enough it did, but he still stopped it. You're talking about confidence, man. There's going to be there's a hell of a lot of work that has to be done to rebuild confidence or to gain confidence in him. And I'd say the boys playing in front of him, it's going to take a hell of a long time to get comfortable with him, to have faith in him, and to believe that he's going to be there and he's going to make the right decision. I thought the little Cruyff turn that he did with the ball at his feet was probably the worst decision I've ever seen anybody make. He got away with it, but there would have been people on the fence to chase him out of Oriel if that had gone wrong and conceded a goal from that. So it is what it is. I think with the goalkeepers, I think we all know what the situation is. So,
look, I think he can make saves. I don't think that's the issue. I think some of his decision making or trying to overplay it. If he cut that out, even, I don't know, like coming for some crosses and dropping them, and like we've seen in previous weeks, I just looking at it from so far, I don't think he's been good enough. And do we have the time and to give him a chance for the season? I don't know. If I was manager, I'd be looking to bring someone in January or even July.
You won't be in the job in January, so there's no point.
Yeah. We mightn't have a club at that stage, but
I just see a comment coming in from Frank Carlin about needing an established keeper. And what did you think of the Longford goalkeeper? I thought he was very good tonight, in fairness, but I don't think we're going to be buying anybody. It'll all be free transfers from now to the end of the season. But I thought he was very good. He'd definitely be one that you'd be looking to keep on the radar for next year, maybe for January, Steph.
Yeah, definitely one for January. We'll leave July.
I think Adrian Taff on commentary was saying that he'd seen him play a few times against Drogheda as well, and he'd been very good in those games. I think he looks absolutely tiny. Like when
he does, yeah,
takes a penalty, he looked absolutely tiny, but the spring on him is incredible. Like he's even pulling that out of the top corner from the rebound. Like you're not worried about him reaching the post. It looks like when he's standing there that he isn't going to be able to reach the bar if he jumps, but he's got some spring on him. So I take him, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, we take anyone at this stage.
And then the next comment in, and then we'll kind of move away from the team and from tonight's performance. Paul O'Caroline asked that we need to talk about Pat. I assume it's Hooban we're talking about, not McElhaney, but yeah, it wasn't his best performance. Well, it wasn't his. I mean, he worked harder than we've seen recently, but in front of goal, it wasn't his best performance by any stretch.
No, and it did seem like one of those nights that he could still be out there now and he wouldn't have scored. But the problem is that there was a penalty last week, and then there's not been that much else. I know he was injured, so maybe he needs a couple of games to get sharp again, maybe after the injury and after the break. But yeah, that game was there for I don't know if McMillan had been there, would McMillan have scored a couple? I'm not sure. It's hard to say, but he really should have put a couple of those chances away tonight. And you hope it's just maybe he's just not sharp enough yet. Maybe that's just being very kind, though.
Yeah, I mean, I would we on this podcast we've obviously been big champions of McMillan all season, and his work rate just outweighs Hooban's got his own strengths, but I think just the work rate alone, and you would fancy McMillan to put away a couple of those chances that Hooban had. You could argue maybe he wouldn't have gotten those positions, but yeah, I would agree 100% on that one. I suppose, we'll move away from the team and we'll move on to the European draw. Before we do that, I just want to bring up something real quick. So last week, I'm going to put a dampener on the podcast, lads. But
right, I'm away.
After last week's podcast, I received a phone call from someone who's associated with the club and players at the club, and they're not happy with how they've been perceived in. They're not too happy with how they're being perceived in the just in social media and kind of in the public eye. During the phone call, my involvement in mental health organisations has been brought into question, which I'm not very happy about. Look, I think I speak for everyone on the podcast in saying this, that we don't agree with any personal abuse of anyone involved in the club, any players in the club, anything like that. We've never engaged in any of that, any personal abuse. And I just we won't tolerate it. If anybody comments in anything personally abusing anybody involved in anything in the comments, we won't post it. If anybody has any concerns or any rumors, we address it on the podcast. And if people don't like what we talk about, they're more than welcome to come on as a guest and chat about it at any time. But the one thing, just look at that I won't stand for at the minute is myself, Steph. You're involved in a mental health organisation with me as well. I won't stand for any of us and the work that we've done being disassociated with that, and we do outside of the podcast. So I just wanted to kind of make that clear before we move on. So yeah, right.
Look,
sorry, go ahead, Steph.
Just to add to that, look, I think we've tried to be as fair as we could. Like we're a podcast talking about Dundalk and everything Dundalk, and there is going to be stuff that comes up, and some of it's rumours, and we try not to say, oh, such and such done this or whatever. But what I'm trying to say is, like, we tried to give everyone a chance. If someone came on from the supporters club, we tried to get someone on from the club itself. Like Jay came on, and then Paddy Casey came on, for example. Like, and if there is people that want to come on and voice their own opinion, I think they're more than welcome to come on and talk about it. If they're aggrieved about something or they think we're wrong, look, we'll hold our hands up if we're wrong and admit to it. Or if we said something out of place, it's usually you, Dean. So look, people are welcome to come on and talk about Dundalk. I think we're all passionate, and sometimes it might just spill over and people might take things personally, but it's never an intention of ours to annoy or upset people. I'm just enjoying coming on and talking to like some of the ex-players and some of the fans, and I think it really rings true that everyone wants the best for Dundalk, and we just move on from, I suppose. And if anyone wants to come on and have a chat with us on the show or off the show, we're all open to it.
Absolutely. So look, we leave it at that. I just kind of wanted to get that said during the show. Moving on to Europe. Sorry for making this awkward on you, Donald, here. But moving on to the Europa Conference League. On Tuesday morning, the draw was done, and Dundalk got drawn against Newtown AFC. I have it up here. Newtown AFC from Wales. Probably couldn't have got a better draw, could we? Really?
Yeah, I think it was the pick of I think we were sort of picking them out as, the probably ideal draw. After the Waterford game, Newtown Blues probably could have given us a game. But look, hopefully we can get our act together before the game rolls around and set ourselves up right for it. I think we've all really enjoyed the European runs lately, and the longer we go into it, hopefully we can get some fans going. If we can get through a couple of rounds, and I think even the second round draw mightn't be too bad. I don't know a lot about Newtown, I will admit. Donald will fill us in how they're going the season and who their star men are. Obviously, he's done his homework on all this. The big lad up top, is it?
I think it's they're a Welsh side. They usually play 11 players. One goalkeeper. I'm gonna go through the whole thing. I won't bore you with all of the intricacies of how they play. But no, I think I think Faz said it earlier on, like the European games are away from the league, so the boys can put league form behind them. Hopefully, like Steph said, they can get a few performances in there between now and then. But we were saying that last week, that whoever was going to come in, there's still the cup and there's still the European games. So like there's still a chance to make it like a pretty memorable season in spite of everything that's happened up to this point. It might suit some players to like be completely separate from league position and league pressures and stuff. The only problem now is that going into that game, they're going to be favourites, and I don't know how much the pressure will affect them, or whether they will think like, we could go into this. We'd rather be playing against someone that we expect to get hammered by, and then they can really like let the shackles off, So that'd be the only negative I could see from the draw, is that like now we're expecting them to win, and how extra difficult that might make the performance, or like that might make the game.
Hasn't went well for us this year when we've been favourites.
Yeah, and like we have played better against the better sides in the league and gotten better results against the better sides in the league. So, look, who knows? Because European games can be strange. I know it's Wales, it's still a European game, so yeah, strange things can happen in them.
Absolutely. Well, if we progress as we'd hope to do, we will play either Levadia Tallinn from Estonia or St. Joseph's from Gibraltar. I mean, you'd probably fancy the Estonians to get through in that one. That's going to be a significant step up, you would think, from the Welsh side. What do you think of that?
Steph, they're your team, aren't they?
Yeah, the big lad up top's dangerous. And the keeper, obviously, the keeper's Estonian, plays in the Estonian league. No, look, we don't know much about any of the teams. Well, I don't anyway. But you'd fancy the Estonian side to go through just on like previous knowledge of these sort of. But again, it's a lot. Anybody could go through in any of the games. You just hope Dundalk can build up a bit of a run, put in a few performances and get through a few rounds. Like the prize money on offer as well, like might cut the debt that we have, that we seem to be building up at the minute. But look, I don't know. I think you just have to take the first game and hope to get through that and just build on from there. It's gonna be tough. Like a game in Europe is gonna be tough anyway. So don't.
Yeah, no, I feel exactly the same. Like to be honest, like when the draw was happening, I found it hard to concentrate, or I found it hard to like even get my head around the fact that they are going to be playing European games, because it was just, Friday night was so important. Like tonight was a massive game, and I think maybe closer to the time I'll come back to you with my tactical analysis of who are the Gibraltar team, St. Joseph's. I'll really get stuck into them.
St. Joseph's, they're from Tremiskin as well.
Yeah, I have to make sure I get the right one, because Tremiskin and Gibraltar look kind of similar as well. Like, when you're watching them on screen, it might look kind of similar. So I want to make sure I get the right one. So no, like it is. I honestly was looking at the European draw like that's miles away. I know it's not miles away, but it's just in terms of what's important to like the right now. The game tonight was important. Monday night's important, and again Friday night is very important again. So, but yeah, it'll be good. It should be good fun. European games are normally like, I don't know if we're gonna actually get to go to any of them. Hopefully at some stage we get to go to one, but yeah, you can. Yeah, anything can happen. You can have like you could be having a rotten run in the league and something sparks in the European game and away you go, so who knows?
Yeah, last season's case in point for that, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly. Hopefully with the imports, we've a bit of experience in the squad now.
It's all children of God stuff. That's what we're gonna call it.
Look,
it's not imports.
Well, look, that was what was used. So no comment.
Well, look, before we're going to move on to Monday night's game against Drogheda, but before we do that, we'll one last shout out if anyone wants to write in with their man of the match for a chance to win a pizza from Tony's Pizzeria. Do that now, and then after we talk about drugs on Monday, we'll announce the winner, or we'll discuss the winner. So moving on to Monday, you'd hope after Drogheda's result tonight that they'll be hurting. Hopefully not losing tonight will give our lads a bit of confidence to go forward into that. It's a derby game up ahead in the game park. Tight pitch that doesn't really suit. Well, I was about to say it doesn't suit our style of play, but I don't think we know what our style of play is at the minute. Yeah. So, what's your thoughts on Monday, Donald?
I think it's going to be interesting to see the team. I think we talked about like Val being left out and Darragh Leahy coming in, like whether that's going to be whether he's going to say like, right, Darragh Leahy's left back now and we're going to give him a run of games. And I thought there was a little bit of movement around the midfield where like McElhenney played deeper in midfield, which he did a few times before, and he's able to get on the ball and do some stuff. But yeah, I'm curious about the team. And then, derby match, like, it's hard to know whether like our result against Drogheda the last time was an outlier, like because they went on the great run of form after that game, and now this seems like their great run of form has kind of come to a bit of a halt. Just to give a shout out for Georgie Kelly for scoring 7 goals against 2 loud teams in Dalymount Park. I think that has to be some sort of incredible amount of goals in 2 games. But who knows in a derby game as well. But going on tonight's performance, they improved tonight. If they can sort of tighten things up at the back, I don't know if they can, but if they can, they should be able to create a few chances. So I'd be semi-confident going into Monday.
Steph?
Yeah, the players don't need any motivation for the game. It's a derby game. Even some of the lads coming into the team, it's half a season now through, so they know what the importance of the game is. They won't need any motivation, and hopefully, like the last time, it was one of our better performances. They all seemed up for it. They all seemed at it straight away. They should be at it. Just a quick turnaround. Hopefully, everyone's all right to go again. And hopefully, Drogheda are knocked for 6 and sort of doubting themselves in their own mind after getting hammered tonight. I think hopefully a cast out. With them having the young lads, it might just do that. Having a lot of young lads in the team might doubt their not ability, but where they were going. Maybe they thought that they were higher up than they were, but hopefully it doesn't like spur them on now to put in a better performance and get a result against us, because we need to start picking up 3 points quickly, start climbing the table. It's sad looking at it the minute.
It is. I suppose looking at, like you've both brought up about the team, what team will start. Would you like to see the same team that started tonight? Obviously, Dickie Kelly might be out. He went off injured in the second half tonight. Would you like to see a similar team? I mean, I'd like to see Drakowskis come back in maybe for Dummigan.
Yeah.
I think Leahy done enough at left back, at right back or right mid. You don't know really who you put in there. Do you go for Han again, because he's just kind of gone into oblivion over the last couple of weeks? Like, we haven't seen or heard from him after, and he started off his first 2 games, he was flying, and then he just hasn't really been seen since. So, Donald, would you like to see the same or similar first 11 again?
I think a bit of consistency is going to be important as well. I know Vinny would know a lot of the players, which is a good thing. Like, he doesn't have to go in and be like, I don't know him. I need to see him for a couple of games. Apart from the new players that were brought in, obviously he needs to see them. But I think for the most part, he'll probably stick with the core lads that were playing tonight. I'd say Tchaikovskis at right back, I 100% start him there. The midfield positions, then it's like Stanton was good again. But then I don't know. They just don't seem to have the right combination in midfield yet. They've changed it up a few times, and I think when Shields, well, I was going to say if Shields is still there when Cleary comes back and he doesn't have to play centre back anymore, but we don't know, so there's no point even talking about where he's going to play in a month. But I'd just be curious to see like what he thinks his best midfield is, because I'm not entirely sure I know what that is from any of the performances that the team put in. Obviously, if Shields is there, he goes in, but then centre back he won't be. But yeah, other than that, there's McMillan was talking before the game about the injury and how it's not too bad, but I'd imagine he'd still not be involved Monday night, and it'll be Friday before he's back on the bench, just going by what he said, because if he's not ready for Friday night, he'd hardly be ready Monday night. So we'll have to do without Davy Mack, I'd imagine, again on Monday.
Yeah. Maybe Mustogan might get a chance. Who knows after Hoban's misses today.
I was just thinking about Muskogan, and it's like if he had signed in in one of the Stephen Kenny teams, like in a proper like championship winning team that were winning every game, and he came off the bench, I feel like he would be like an incredible cult hero, because there's just something about him that I don't even know what it is. It's the way he runs, the way he controls the ball, the way he moves. There's just something that you're like, he would stand out.
He shouldn't be a footballer, right? He doesn't run like he's a footballer. He doesn't, but he does stuff. Then you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. You're not expecting him to be as good on the ball as he is, and then he can turn someone, and it's like, he'd be the kind of player that we'd all love in better circumstances. It'd just be like, I think he'd be a massive favorite, but in the circumstances as they are, it's kind of hard for him to be as big a favorite as he would be in a better team. But there you
go. Yeah, I thought you were going to say in a proper team. You dropped in league winning just in the middle, just in time, I think. But no, Joukowskis.
Steph, what about you with the team?
Yeah, I think Joukowskis, I'd bring him in right full. Like Donald said, you're still trying to figure out who your best midfield is. Just when you think you might have a combination, Shields has to drop back into centre half, and you're trying to guess again. I thought the midfield we had for Pat's game was good, and then we go to the Waterford game, and it's just so bad. It's unbelievable. So look, you're trying to pick who's on form at that time, and it's just nobody's been consistent that you could say, yeah, look, he's definitely going to be in there. And then there's players been switched positions, players coming in and doing okay, and they're getting taken out, and you haven't seen them again. Like Han seemed to be, even when he didn't seem like he was playing great, he was busy, he was hassling teams. He looked like he was a different option to us, but he hasn't even been coming off the bench, so I don't know what the issue is there, and maybe Vinny won't like him at all. Don't know. It's hard to tell, but it's going to be. I'd say he'll go with the core selection again, and then maybe one or two changes. I can't see him changing. I'd say he'll go with Hoban again. Duffy same at the start. You'll have the core of the team. It might be 2-3 changes. Just I think Stanton will play in midfield. He seems to be just one that seems to be a bit consistent at the minute out of everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought he was good tonight. So that brings us nicely along to our man of the match award for tonight. I'm gonna go first because I don't want you copying me, Steph. But I'm actually gonna pick Stanton. I thought that was his best game for Dundalk tonight. I thought he was involved in a lot of the play going forward, and I think he made a goal line clearance as well in the second half. I think it was the second half he made it. But very, very good play from him. So that's Stanton is my man of the match. Donald?
Yeah, I'd say Stanton as well. He gave the ball away before, like, to create that chance that he had to clear off the line. So that would have been he wouldn't have been my pick if that had gone in. But he recovered and kept that one out. So yeah, he's shown flashes in different games, and it seems like the performances are getting more consistent, which is good. And yeah, I think that was I'm going to say that was his best performance. I can't remember if there was a couple of better ones than that, but he'd definitely be my pick for the night.
Perfect. Steph?
I think it was a toss-up between two players tonight. One's probably going to get ruled out straight away because he's playing with Derry at the minute. Patchen got 2 tonight. Well, I think he did. The last I seen, he had 2 anyway. Don't know if he got his hat-trick, but it was injury time. And then Shields for his goal. Just and a sign-off goal before he goes to Linfield. I'm going to go Shields before he departs.
You're going to go with Shieldsy?
Yeah, before he departs or Linfield.
You're a hard man, Steph. That was a very awkward silence there after that.
Yeah, so look, I just let it digest what it is, because it's a done deal. I don't want to put any rumours out there, but he's gone.
No, you'll be getting phone calls in the morning.
No.
But yeah, I would. So the man of the match, looking at all the comments, it was close between Shieldsy and Stanton, but I think Stanton got it. So congratulations to. I know he probably watches the show every week. Congratulations, Stanton, on behalf of us all. And the winner of the pizza is Desor McEnany. He had a very political one there where he picked either or. So well done, Desor, on that one.
That's controversial, Dean.
That is controversial, yeah. Chris, if you're not on, you can't. Your vote doesn't count. I'm sorry, pal.
Just like when he is on.
Yeah. What was I going to say there before we wrap up, before we go into our predictions for Monday? Steph, you brought up a good point on Will Patching. There's rumours that he's coming back. It's neither been confirmed nor denied by the club. I think Chris is leading. I think Chris is leading the thing there, or he's on the fence about what's going to happen with the press on that one. But I mean, Patching has to come back, doesn't he? He's probably the best player in the league at the minute, or he's the most consistent player in the league, you would say.
He's the most on form anyway.
Yeah,
he scored more penalties than Bruno Fernandes, though, hasn't he?
What is it?
What?
He scored more penalties than Bruno Fernandes. Does he not score a penalty every single game and a free kick every single game? It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
just bring him in for that alone. If he wants to play quarterback for us, that's fine. Fine with me. He can take the kicks. No, look, I think he just needed a run of games. Looking at his youth career, and he's a quality player, and he probably just needed the games. He didn't get in last year, and I think he obviously came in when Vinny was manager as well, so he's obviously going to know him. I don't know if that'll work with him or against him, but the form he's in, I think it's a no-brainer. Surely they can bring him back in July. Like, why would you not? Whether he wants to really come back now is another one. To be like, I know Derry aren't flying higher at him, but the last couple of weeks or since Rory's come in, they've had a big upturn, and he's playing well. He's scoring goals. He's getting a couple of assists as well. So, look, if it's his parent club, like Dundalk, he's a Dundalk player, so get him back at all costs. I think it doesn't make sense to have him at Derry. Like, if we're going to be scrapping with them and he's scoring goals, playing well, it doesn't make sense for him to be down there. Come straight back in. There's a midfield sorted.
Simple
as that. Don't know why I didn't get the job, to be honest.
Maybe you were the other person who was one of a couple. You were the other one.
Yeah,
who's capable of doing the job.
Didn't want you to break that in the show. Breaking news. Breaking news.
Are you gone again now?
No, unfortunately not. Yeah, you're frozen there, but look, I was going to bring Dolan in for his knowledge, his in-depth knowledge of the Welsh and Estonian league. He was going to be the opposition analysis.
I could do it in my sleep. Even like, yeah.
Yeah, so look, I don't know. I don't think we're going to dwell on the managerial situation, but who do you think is he going to bring someone else in with him, Dean?
Is he going to be allowed? Is probably the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, it's all rumours, but word is that he's not going to be allowed to bring his own people in, and I don't know if the budget's there, or if things are to be believed that the ownership isn't willing to spend, then you would anticipate not, because like Burnsy was there today, Giuseppe was there today. Usually, if a manager comes in, they already have their backroom staff sorted,
Yeah, I don't think Giuseppe's going to be hanging around. I think he might be gone.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. Like, he's not going to be able to look after the training all by himself. So I don't know what's going to happen there. So it'll be another interesting week, no doubt. Just the games will fill it up now on Monday and Friday, so there mightn't be just as much news coming out. But I wouldn't hold up breath on it being a quiet week either, don't I?
Yeah, I try to get the blog posts done, obviously in between the games, so they could just not do anything mental tomorrow or Sunday, so I can get something done before Monday. Then if a couple of days, if they want to go crazy and start announcing some stuff between Monday and Friday, I'm okay with that. But please don't do anything before Monday, because I was getting a headache trying to figure out what to do last week, because every single time I looked at Twitter, there was some new news or some new rumors or some craziness happening. So it was like, right, well, I can't do it now. I have to wait till this is gone, and then there'll be another thing. So if they could just give me 2 quiet days, that's all I want.
You'd be lucky to get 2 quiet hours. The way I was twisting and turning and back and forth. Chris is coming back Monday night.
He's going to sort it all out.
I'm going to have to drop out for that
one. So look at moving forward to Monday night score predictions. I can't even remember what we predicted last week. There's been that much happening.
I said 2-0, which was wrong. So I'm going to go 2-0 again on Monday, because maybe it'll be right.
2-0, all right. I'm going to say 1-1.
2 Dundalk. I'm going to say, just to clarify.
Yeah. Better to clarify.
I'm going to say 1-1. I think it's going to be a tough. I think Drogs obviously took a pace tonight, and usually teams bounce back a little bit from that. So I'm going to go with another 1-1, knowing the size of the pitch up there as well. I have to plug it again, heading to Game Park. It's a tighter pitch. They'll make it difficult for them to break down, Steph?
I was looking at a Desmond, but I've rethought that, because I think.
Steph?
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm gone, am I?
No, I can still hear you. You were going for a Desmond.
I was going to go for Desmond, but I think they will shut up shop. It's a tight pitch up.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a tight pitch up.
No, you're there.
So that's what I predicted. Did you get that thing? But no, look, I'll keep talking, because Donald can hear me and Dean can't. So.
What was that prediction again, Steph?
I was just messing with you. I think it'll be 0-0. Gonna go for a duck egg. I think they'll probably try and shut up shop, like you did say. I don't think there's gonna be, like, the chances were limited again tonight. Hopefully we don't get a penalty, because we miss it.
Where's the game on Monday night? I don't know if you said.
I think I did say it's on in Head in the Game Park.
All right. So you were putting out. I didn't know if you said it or not.
Thank you. I was gonna go up to it, go up on top of the shed. Me and Maxie light a flare on top of the shed, but my son's 3, so I'm having a birthday party for him, so I won't make it up to Head in the Game Park. But 0-0. I'll predict a 0-0. Yeah.
That's a brave one that we're going to get. Bodie reckon we're going to get clean sheets, so fair play to Bodie.
I don't think we get a clean sheet, but it'll finish 0-0.
Well, look at that. That wraps us up. We've gone under the hour and 30-minute mark for I think probably only the second time maybe this season. It's great not having Gally on. I'd like to apologise for the interferences with my coverage. But yeah, we'll see everyone back on Monday after the game at Heading the Game Park between Drogheda United and Dundalk FC. Donald, thanks a million for coming on again. Thanks also to Faz Kadozovic for coming on. A great chat with Faz. And Steph, now you're back. We'll let you wrap it up tonight, pal.
No fats, no party.
Where's my song?
He's done me in.
Hold on, do it again.
Awkward.